The Christmas holiday shopping season is a make-or-break time for US retailers and, more broadly, the US economy. Sales during November and December can account for up to 40% of the annual revenue for store operators. So as the countdown begins, how are the retailers in the United States faring? Let's go live to New York and our reporter Victoria Fritz. We've had some numbers out this afternoon. Victoria, what do they look like? Encouraging?
They are actually. They're very encouraging indeed. No one was quite expecting this. Retail sales actually jumped 0.4% in October. Those were really created by sales of cars, of clothing, of furniture. Now this is really good news because it sort of implies that there's been a stepping up in sales and retail activity before the all-important Christmas season and the holiday season, starting off with Black Friday, of course, next Friday. Now, what I found absolutely incredible if you're walking around the streets of New York is the aggressive pricing. Already we're seeing huge discounts. We're seeing it from the likes all across the board, from the low end right up to the high end, and this is before the big discounting season really starts. Now, of course, that's going to really squeeze profit margins for these companies, but if they can get the people in through the doors, then it will be happy times all round. But at the moment, the streets at the moment are quite empty. The shops are not as full as they could be.
Yes, and some of the companies, I saw JCPenney figures. I know JCPenney's shares were up because the figures were slightly better than expected, but actually they're not doing very well. I think the shares are down 50% on the year or something. They've had a hard time.
That's true. That's true. They haven't been doing very well. However, the figures today, although they posted a loss, their sales were improving. In fact, their sales had improved for the first time since December 2011. Now, that's big news. People are talking about a turnaround. So although the shares were up earlier, they've pared back slightly now. They're talking about a turnaround, and that's because of traffic. They're actually getting people in through the doors, and that has been a problem in the past for JCPenney.
Let's just change tack and talk about the Federal Reserve, because I saw the markets down quite sharply. They started up when we had these retail sales figures. Then they started to fall quite sharply after we got word out from the Federal Reserve. What's the Federal Reserve been saying that spooked the markets today?
Now, the real factor, the real thing that has pushed markets for a long time now has been the comments, trying to guess what's going on and when we might get any tapering or any slowing, effectively, of the huge economic stimulus program happening in the US. It's $85 billion worth of bond buying that's going on every single month. Now, everyone has been wondering when that is going to be tapered back. It's sort of, imagine if you will, that the US economy is a child on a bicycle, and it's got these stabilizers, these training wheels either side. And how good is the economic recovery here going to be in order to take those training wheels off? Now, we've been guessing a very long time, and the comments we heard today suggest that, in fact, that sort of taking off of the stabilizers, no matter how small, might be actually happening in the coming months. So although it might not be, the economic case might not be that it will happen anytime soon, it will certainly be coming down along the road in the coming months.
Yeah, we've had all this slightly before, haven't we? I mean, this all happened about 2 or 3 months ago when the same thought was going through everybody's head, and the markets fell like a stone as a result. Is that going to happen again once the message becomes really clear that this support is going to disappear?
Well, that's the big game, isn't it? When we look back over the summer, for example, a lot of the investment banks, their fixed income divisions, they were really pummeled in the bond markets by what was going on there, and this big guessing game. So no one quite knows what's going to happen. There have been comments from Ben Bernanke, the chairman, last night, suggesting that even if there was a tapering back, a slowing down of asset purchasing, of the drug keeping all these markets alive, really, they will keep interest rates low, and that could happen even after we might see that threshold for unemployment, 6.5%, reached. At the moment, unemployment is still high at 7.3%, but we will have to wait and see, I'm afraid.
OK, Victoria, thanks very much indeed.